Hey YouTube, Zach here, the Professional Nerd. In today's video we are going to be reviewing this, the BIQU Kossel Plus 3D printer. So let's get started. Okay, so I thought first I would talk about the building of the 3D printer, which is right there, and how it was packaged. So the packaging of it was very good. It was very well packaged. Came in a nice big box, shipped straight from China. The assembly took roughly around 8 hours, 6-8 hours. It was easier build than my Prusa, and it was well documented in this. Go ahead and show some of the detail. And everything was nicely labeled, so all the screws came in a baggie just like this, and it was labeled like A4 and stuff, so that was very nice. And the overall build of the printer is very sturdy because it's the aluminum extrusion. It has linear rods, bearings, all metal, hot end, or it's not all metal, it has the Teflon tube inside, but I'm saying like the actual end effector is metal. Nothing on here is 3D printed besides the fan assembly. The corner braces though are injection molded, but that's, it's still a really sturdy printer. Okay, so next I figured I would talk about how you can get some help on getting your printer printing stuff that looks like this. So there are two places that you can get help. First off, I got help from their Skype account, and it was BIQU Eric who also sent the printer over to me and was giving me a lot of help to get my printer working. There is also a BIQU Facebook group which I am a part of, and there you can get lots of help. There's tons of people that have this printer working perfectly. They were all talking, spitballing ideas on how to make this printer better. They're talking about, and BIQU also has updates, and it's also where you can get some new firmware for the printer to make it work even better. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about some of the extras that came with it and if I would use them or not. So it came with a nice pair of, flush cutters, tons of extra, like an extra throat, some extra nozzles, extra Bowden tube connector, and some extra heat sinks for the stepper motors. Came with a whole bunch of extra screws and stuff here. Came with this putty knife. It's a little too thick, so I prefer to use my Toy Builder's Lab, the really thin one, and I can just get underneath there easier. Or I just use just a razor blade. And it also came with a ceramic screwdriver for changing. If you need to change your stepper motor drivers. Overall, very useful things to get help. You start with your first, if this is your first printer. If not, it never hurts to have extra of these sitting around. It also has a glass plate that it came with, and it has two different little like paddings that you can put on to help adhere so the printer adheres better. But I'm just not a big fan of them. I've been printing straight on the glass, and I've not had a problem with adhesion yet. Okay, so I thought I'd go over some of the pros and some of the things I really like about this printer. I love the huge build volume that is on this. I was able to print this baby Groot, no problem. This thing's pretty big, and it looks great. There, focused. And I also love how this thing is super quiet. They advertise it as being 50 decibels, but I think that's even quieter. The only thing that you can hear is this fan and the two fans that are underneath for the board, which I'm going to probably upgrade at some point to Noctua fans, and so this thing will be completely silent. The price is also a pretty good bargain. It says for under $500, this entire printer you get. And after just a little bit of messing around with in Slicer, or you're in the Slicer, you can get something printing just like this. Also, I like that it has a LCD screen, so I print from SD card now. I do not print from computer. I don't plug it in. I don't do anything. I just do everything off this SD card. The only time I plug it into the computer is to upgrade my firmware, or just to do some testing if I need to, if I mess around with some settings. Other than that, I print everything off my SD card that came with it also, that had the firmware and everything. Something I also really like is that there is a heated bed that comes with. In this price range, some printers do come with a heated bed, but not that many do. But this, having a heated bed is really nice for printing with ABS and all those other exotic filaments that need better adhesion from heat. So I figured I'd go into some of the cons of this printer, some of the things I just didn't like. One thing I really do not like is the power supply is not attached to the frame in any way. It's just, it just flops around right here. So obviously I'm going to figure out a way. I'll probably 3D print a mount or something so I can mount it to the side back there or something, just so I can get it out of the way, and it's just all one big piece. The only thing that comes out is like is a USB cable if I need it, and the power cable. It took me it took me a couple weeks, off and on, trying to getting the printer to print something that looks like this. It went from I had to adjust my I forgot to adjust my motors. My old motors had to be adjusted to 1.35 volts is what I have all mine set at, as per what BIQU Eric said on Skype to me. I accidentally broke some of these carbon rods, so I had to wait for those. That took, they shipped them out pretty quick. It took about 4 or 5 days to get to here straight from China. But and I also installed these backwards, the parts that hold the end effectors onto the linear rod like this. I messed up and I installed it backwards. So there's little things that just kept making it harder and harder for me to print. Then I was able to get it working fine. I also downloaded a new firmware from the Facebook group that allows me to save the auto leveling and stuff. Now it's just it's a nice printer. And something I would like to talk about now is the auto leveling. It's a little annoying because it's a little membrane that sticks to the end of the nozzle and then plugs into the little clip on the end. There's just 2 prongs, and that just the nozzle comes onto the heated bed like this. There's that membrane, and when it clicks the end of the bed, that's the end stop minimum, and then it just goes around until it hits it again and again, and it goes around, does its thing. And it's just annoying because you have to put it on, make sure the nozzle hot ends cold, put it on, make sure it sticks, and then when it goes down, watch it, make sure it doesn't fall off. So at some point I'm wanting to upgrade to a BL Touch and see if I can end up getting one for this printer. Okay, so getting the first print, I was originally using Slice 3R, or Slicer, however you guys want to pronounce it, and I just was not getting results that I was after with this printer. I was not getting a baby Groot that looked like this. So I then took my Slicer settings, put it into Kira, and ever since then I've been getting great prints. I've been, got the baby Groot going. I have some other prints over there I'll have to find. And, I just, after that, using Kira, it was working fine. Obviously, I still have a little bit of things that I need to adjust in Kira. I have to figure out my retraction settings a little bit better. Because, retraction, I turned off retraction so this would print a little bit better. And I've been all over the Facebook group, and someone I've been talking to, they've been using Simplify 3D for this printer, and they said it's been getting perfect prints, and Simplify 3D is a nice thing. But right now, I just don't feel like I just can't justify that price point to add Simplify 3D to my 3D printing toolbox. I would love to get Simplify 3D, I just don't feel like I have the money right now to do that. So while I'm printing, the way I print is I use a glass bed, and then I just take a Elmer's glue stick, and the purple disappearing is what I got. It was like $2 for 8 of them at the local supermarket. Take them, put it on the print roughly where I know it's going to be, and then the printer goes on and it sticks perfectly. There's no adhesion, or it adheres really nice to the print bed. And you also get, the really nice looking ends. Okay, so if you're looking for a printer that is super quiet, huge build volume, has Delta kinematics, and is under $500. This is the printer that I would recommend. I was blown away as to how great I was able to get prints. Like, it was one of my first prints after I, dialed in the separate motors, made sure they weren't, getting too hot. After I did some things, I was blown away. So I would recommend this 3D printer. Granted, there are some, some things that you need to change, like, so the aluminum heat bed is attached straight to the aluminum extrusion, so those pull away some of the heat. So that's why I bought some foam board that I'm going to cut out, put a couple layers, and get some longer screws, and attach that underneath there. And then I also purchased a piece of acrylic sheet, which is right here also. And then I'm just going to 3D print some, I'll design and 3D print some little corners so I can just attach it to each side of the printer, and just to keep some of the heat in. And then at the top I'll probably use like maybe some leftover acrylic and put it inside, or a piece of foam core, something just just to keep some of the heat in, and so I can get this heated bed heated up much quicker. And it's another upgrade I feel like I'm going to be doing, as I talked about earlier. I'm going to be upgrading probably everything to Noctua fans, because those things will make it completely quiet. This entire printer will be silent. I'm also thinking about looking into, like I said, getting a BL Touch for this printer, and I'm also going to try going with a all metal hot end, so I can then print some more of the exotic and more demanding filaments that demand more heat. So yeah, as I said, I would highly recommend this BIQU Kossel Plus 3D printer. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. See ya.